Number 3. Number 3 says secant of x times sine of x, all that over tan x plus cotangent of x is equal to sine squared x. Okay, whenever you have any doubt where to start, what to do, convert everything into sine and cosine and start doing some algebra. Okay, that is really 1 over cosine x times sine x. All that's going to be over sine x over cosine x plus cosine x over sine x. That's equal to sine squared x. Of course, when you simplify the top, you're going to get a sine x over cosine x. And when you add these two fractions together, they have to have a common denominator. So we can just do the little secret thing right here. Okay, multiply, multiply. That's going to give me sine squared x plus cosine squared x, all that over sine x times cosine x. And that's equal to sine squared x. Alright, we have a trig identity for sine squared plus cosine squared. That turns into 1. So my left side now looks like this. Sine x over cosine x. This is a division symbol right there. So divide that by 1 over sine x cosine x. And that's equal to sine squared x. Of course, we convert all divisions to multiplication, so this gets flipped. You get sine x over cosine x times sine x times cosine x over 1 is equal to sine squared x. Cosine is going to cancel out. I get sine squared x equal to sine squared x. And that's done. Right? So let's go to 5. 5, 6, and 8. Number 5. Cosine squared x minus sine squared x is equal to 1 minus 2 sine squared x. Alright, well, there's a quick way of doing it and there's a long way of doing it. What's a quick way to get it? This is cosine of 2x. What's that? It's on the board. Same thing. Done. So if you know your trig identities, you can just do that. Okay, number 6. Okay, cosecant squared x tangent squared x minus 1 is equal to tangent squared x. Alright. Again, I have no clue, so therefore I'm going to turn everything into sine and cosine. This is 1 over sine squared x times sine squared x over cosine squared x minus 1 is equal to tangent squared x. Alright, looks like sine squared x cancel out. I get 1 over cosine squared x minus 1 is equal to tangent squared x. Well, this common denominator here is cosine squared x, so this turns into cosine squared over cosine squared. So on the left side, I have 1 minus cosine squared x over cosine squared x is equal to tangent squared x. That is a trig identity. So I can put sine squared x over cosine squared x is equal to tangent squared x. So this is now a tangent squared x is equal to tangent squared x. Alright, number 8. Number 8, we have a tangent squared x times sine squared x is equal to tangent squared x minus sine squared x. Again, if I have no clue what to do, just turn everything into sine and cosine and start doing algebra. This is sine squared x over cosine squared x times sine squared x. This is sine squared x over cosine squared x minus sine squared x. This is over 1. Of course, the left hand side, you'll get sine to the 4th power of x, and I have a cosine squared x. Right hand side, this is subtraction, so I have to have a common denominator. My common denominator is cosine squared x. So multiply top and bottom by cosine squared x here. So I'm going to get sine squared x minus sine squared x times cosine squared x. Now they all have same denominator, which is cosine squared x. Okay, left side stays as a sine to the 4th of x over cosine squared x. Right side, I can factor out a sine squared. That will leave me with a sine squared x times quantity 1 minus cosine squared x. All that over cosine squared x. Now, of course, we have a trig identity for that. That's sine squared x. So I have a sine squared x times sine squared x. All that over cosine squared x. And which is sine to the 4th of x over cosine squared x. Right. So let's go to section 37. Any questions on section 37? We're good? Yesterday? How about section 36? Olivia. Section 36, which one did you say? 15? Okay. Yes, sir. 11. Sarah? Which one? 60. Olivia. 14. Alright, let's start with 11. 11. Okay. There's 4 parts to it. Who asked for 11? Okay, there's 4 parts to it. I'm going to do one part. You're going to have to do the other parts, okay? Once you do the first part, that's easy. Sine of alpha is equal to 3 over 5, and alpha is greater than 0, less than pi over 2. Okay, and then they tell us that cosine of beta is equal to 2 rad 5 over 5. And the beta is bigger than negative pi over 2, less than 0. This is telling you have a right triangle in the first quadrant. Okay, there's my first quadrant between 0 and pi, and that's my right triangle, and that's my alpha angle. This is the opposite, and this is the hypotenuse. So obviously that's going to be 4, just by geometry. This is in the 4th quadrant. So I'm going to make a triangle in the 4th quadrant, okay, and that's my beta angle. This is my adjacent, which is 2 rad 5, and that's my hypotenuse, which is 5, and I have to go find that. Okay, so I'm going to go 2 rad 5 quantity squared plus b squared is equal to 5 squared. Okay, and this turns into 20 when you simplify, plus b squared is equal to 25. Okay, subtract b squared is equal to 5. Take a square root, b is equal to plus or minus rad 5. Since this goes down, that's got to be negative rad 5. Okay, now I have 4 trig identities to solve. So let's start with the first one. Sine of alpha plus beta. You go over there, find out what the trig identity is. Okay, that is sine of alpha times cosine of beta plus cosine of alpha times sine of beta. Okay, you go to alpha triangle, find what sine is. Sine is 3 over 5 times. You go to beta triangle, find cosine. Cosine is 2 rad 5 over 5 plus. You go to alpha triangle, find cosine, which is 4 over 5. You go to beta triangle, find sine, which is negative 5 over 5. Clean it up. This is 6 rad 5 over 25 minus 4. This is rad 5. Okay, it would be 4 rad 5 over 25, which is going to give me 2 rad 5 over 25, and then you do the other three trig identities. Just plug them in. Does that make sense? Okay. And use the same triangles, okay? Alpha and beta. Okay. 14. 14. They tell us cosine of x is equal to negative 1 over 8. Okay, find tangent of 2x. Alright, I gotta take inverse of both sides, but this is negative, so cosine inverse only exists, the negative exists over here in this quadrant, second quadrant. So that's my right triangle right there. Okay, and so that's my angle x. This is the adjacent, which is negative 1. That's hypotenuse is 8. I'm going to find the third side. Negative 1 squared plus b squared is equal to 8 squared. So 1 plus b squared is equal to 64. B squared is equal to 63. B is equal to plus or minus add 63. Okay, this is going up, so that's positive add 63. Now I got to find tangent of 2x. Tangent of 2x is sine of 2x over cosine of 2x. Well, I have a trig identity for that. Okay, that's 2 sine x times cosine x. I have a trig identity for that, and you have three of them actually for this. Any one of them will work. So cosine squared x minus sine squared x. Right, I have a 2. I find what sine of x is. That's opposite over hypotenuse, which is rad 63 over 8 times cosine of x, adjacent over hypotenuse, negative 1 over 8. All that over. Cosine squared. Cosine is negative 1 over 8. Square that. Minus sine squared, which is rad 63 over 8, and I got to square that. Okay, if I clean this up, okay, I'm going to get a negative 2 rad 63 over 64 on the top. Okay, and in the bottom, I'm going to get 1 over 64 minus 63 over 64, which now becomes negative 2 rad 63 over 64. Okay, this now simplifies from the bottom to negative 62 over 64. Okay, and that gets flipped, so the 64s will cancel out. I get a negative 2 rad 63 over negative 62. Two negatives become positive. Of course, 2 will reduce this 62 to 31. Alright, number 15. Good. 15. They tell me B is arcsine, and that is negative rad 7 over 4. They put the negative in the middle on purpose. Okay, and they want you to find sine of 2B. Okay, arcsine exists in the first and the fourth quadrant. It's negative in the fourth quadrant, so you have to go down here and draw that. Okay, that means this is the opposite. That's negative rad 7, and that's 4. Hypotenuse is always positive. Okay, that's my right triangle. Okay, this is my angle beta. Okay, I got to find the third side, which is negative rad 7. Quantity squared plus b squared is equal to 4 squared, which is 7 plus b squared is equal to 16. B squared is equal to 9, and b is equal to plus or minus 3. Since this side is going to the right, that'll be positive 3. Now we're going to find sine of 2b. Have to use a trig identity again. Okay, 2 sine of b times cosine of b, which means 2 times sine, which is negative rad 7 over 4, times cosine of b, which is 3 over 4. When I multiply everything out, I get negative 6 rad 7 over 16. There it is. Alright, quiz tomorrow basically deals with trig identities. Okay, if you know them, you'll do well. If you don't, you're going to be boarded off the island.